Veterans who have fought to protect our freedoms in this country no longer have to fight for medical care when it comes to certain cancers. Matt Mathias is in our control room with more on what this means for thousands of veterans, some right here in our community. Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. This is an expansion of the PACT Act that opens the door for thousands of veterans who may have had health problems after their time overseas.
They've served our country and some have died for our country. And some who have made it home have contracted lifelong disabilities and diseases in their fight for freedom.
And a lot of the places and areas that these veterans went to were not very good areas. And a lot of toxic exposures, a lot of high stresses, a lot of things that they saw and did that most people would never even fathom, and they come home. And then stuff can just incubate.
Veterans who have served in both the Gulf War as well as in wars post 9/11 will now have several cancers and diseases be presumptive. This lowers the burden of proof for veterans, meaning they don't need to prove that their service caused their condition to receive benefits for it. Things like bladder, genitourinary, and blood cancers like leukemia and myelomas will now be covered.
So it's great that the VA and the government's recognizing them a little quicker than they did with some of the Vietnam veterans. It's still been 20 years since the post 9/11 and even longer for the Gulf War, but at least it's getting done, and we're pretty thankful for that.
One of the biggest hotspots for disease here was called Camp Stronghold Freedom, which was in Karshi, Kahanubad, Uzbekistan, or K2 for short. It was an old Soviet base that 16,000 Americans populated from 2001 to 2005. It's been found to have exposed Americans to jet fuel, uranium, volatile compounds, particulate matter and dust, and more.
By chance, 36 members, Erie County here back in 2001, which I was one of them, we were deployed for Operation Enduring Freedom, and that's where we were stationed. We were at K2 in Uzbekistan. Of the 16,000 plus members that served there, roughly 70% of them have some type of service-connected disease or injuries from that area, and a high number of those are cancer.
Now, if you're a veteran who has previously been denied a claim or haven't made one yet, Bonacci says to give the Veteran Services offices a call. You're likely to get approved if your service falls under these conditions. Jen.
All right, Matt Mathias reporting in the control room tonight. Thank you, Matt.